Hello guys, we're going to watch this.
Everybody has some form of media-induced childhood trauma. For some, maybe it's King Ramses' curse and Courage the Cowardly Dog, or
Only happened to me once, and it just went away because I watched Paul Blart Mall Cop like twice. That was good. That was a good movie. I need to watch that sometime today.
if you were somehow born after 2005, then it's probably the Momo Challenge. Originally, I went on the hunt for an obscure cartoon called Captain Flamingo, which featured a disturbing episode that haunted me for years. But this time, it's not just my trauma. When I was a small child, which featured a disturbing episode somehow born after 2005, then it's probably the Momo Challenge. Originally, I went on the hunt for an obscure cartoon called Captain Flamingo, which featured a disturbing episode that haunted me for years. But this time, it's not just my trauma. When I was a small child riding in the back seat with my siblings, we found a piece of media that to this day, I can't forget. Let me paint you a picture. When I was living in Seattle, I remember one specific car ride going home in the middle of the night. My little sister was browsing her iPod on Google Images when suddenly, she came across an image that terrified her. She screamed and refused to look at her phone. I thought to myself,
Well, then, just get over it, bro. Get over it. Just get over it. Genuinely, like, it's so easy.
there couldn't possibly be anything that scary, and that's when I saw it. An image of an all-white wolf character with red eyes, sharp teeth, holding onto a child, but it didn't resemble that of a costume. This was a real creature, acting completely
Wait. Yup.
unfazed. I closed the tab, but for the rest of the car ride, I refused to look out the window into the dark woods of the night. What if the wolfman was waiting out there, glaring directly at me? It has most likely been 15 years since this happened, but I still can't forget it. I need to find this image and figure
Bro. That reminds me of when I was like a kid. Which I still am technically. But it was like a photo of Chuck E. Cheese. Dang, it was actually terrifying. Like it looked like a demon looking at me. Or from Five Nights at Freddy's. Five Nights at Freddy's, by the way, is a great game. You should go to it.
figure out where it came from. So just to recap what we're looking for, an image featuring a realistic wolf-like monster smiling, then the monster also has to be holding on to a child, and finally the origin of the image should be at least from 2010, because I remember this happening when I was in
Wait, hold up.
elementary school. So I guess that's what we're looking for, an image featuring a realistic wolf-like monster smiling, then the monster also has to be holding on to a child, and finally the origin of the image should be at least from 2010, because I remember this happening when I was in elementary school. So I guess the first thing we should try to search for is scary white wolf monster holding onto child. And let's just kind of see what comes up. Okay, so it doesn't seem like any of these are what I'm looking for at all. What makes this kind of search way harder in 2025 is all of the AI images that are polluting Google. For example, this image right here using the crayon AI. If we want to find what I'm looking for, it's going to be buried and require some effort. This is scary, but not what I'm looking for. Let's try searching just holding child. This is like the polar opposite of what I'm trying to find. Maybe a good thing to put in here for now is costume, even though I distinctly remember it not being one. It just seems like this might be a good way to get some actual real photos. Things still seem to be not at all what I'm trying to search for. Guys, we found it. This is what I'm looking for. Nah, I'm just kidding. Let's keep going. Something I learned from my previous video is that you can actually search by the date. For example, if we do before 2010 and see what that gives us. This might actually be the closest image I found so far to what I'm thinking of. It's still lacking key details, like it's the wrong color and it's not holding onto a child. I feel like I'm one accidental search away from accidentally making it onto furry Google. Yeah, it's pretty safe to say that we're not getting any of the results I wanted. Maybe I need to brush up on some details and confirm the story with the only other person that knows what I'm talking about, my little sister. Hello, can you hear me?
Hello?
So the reason I called you today is because years ago, you and I were in the car together in the back seat, and you were looking up like scary images or something like that, and you came across this photo of like a white wolf monster or something like that, and it's holding onto a kid.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about?
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Can you tell me anything about when you looked that up?
No, I was looking up cute bunnies.
You were looking
I
up
looked
cute
up
bunnies?
cute bunny picture, and I scroll down, and I see a terrifying image of an evil Easter bunny.
Was it an Easter bunny?
And it scarred me for life.
I
yeah, it
remember it
was,
as
but
a
it had
wolf.
like sharp teeth. It had sharp teeth and like a scary face, so it kind of looked wolf-like. But I looked up cute bunnies, so I'm pretty sure it was a bunny. Hey, but like, if you make any money from the video, like it kind of came from me, so I think I should get some of the money.
I'm sorry, what was that? I think it's cutting out. I think I'm starting to lose signal.
No, like, like I think I should just get some of the money.
No, I literally can't hear you. I'm sorry, I gotta go. Okay, now that I've cleared up some things, it's pretty obvious that I just didn't remember some details correctly, but now I'm feeling confident with a more set in stone story. So this time, let's try bunny monster holding onto child. Here we go. This is easily the closest thing to what I was imagining yet, but I know that this isn't it because it definitely wasn't a black and white image. This is really creepy. What is with all of these creepy images of Easter bunnies holding on to children? Look at this. It's like this rabbit hole just goes deeper and deeper. Look at this. What is this one? The terrifying nature of looking at these is definitely on the right trail, but I'm really surprised to see how many of these images there are. Like, there are hundreds of these. This could take me a lot longer than I expected it to. One image after the next, there were hundreds of photos of Easter bunnies holding on to children, and it felt very strange to me, almost like I had stumbled onto something that I probably shouldn't have. The further down I went, it seemed like each image was more disturbing than the last. There's a phenomenon specifically with the Easter bunny. I haven't seen a character this widely cosplayed since Diva at a Comic-Con, but for now, it's a lead, so I'm gonna keep hunting. And after taking this video, I had no clue what I would find next.
The Easter bunny next year.
Without a doubt, I had found the image. And normally this would be the end of the story, but it's not. You see, there are multiple versions of this image, and it's hard to trace down exactly which one is technically the original. And not only that, but I have reverse image searched on just about every engine possible. Google will tell you the image is at least 10 years old. At least. But TinEye reverse image search goes all the way back to 2008. Jeff the Killer is from 2008. And the internet is still trying to find the unedited source of it to this day. If it was only 2008, the chances of finding it would be way higher, but it's not from 2008. From digging online, the oldest website I managed to find this image on was on April 16th, 2003, making it at least 22 years old. And just for some perspective, I'm 23, so this picture is most likely older than me. And before you get any crazy ideas, no, the baby in the picture is not me, okay? And the way I found this oldest version is by going through hundreds of links provided by Google, until I stumbled on an old website called Pelican Parts, an old forum for replacing European car parts. And in the middle of a random pic thread, the image was posted. But I know that this can't be the source, just judging by the nature of the post. There is no way that this is the first place it was posted on the internet. It just seems so out of place. But something interesting and potentially important is the name of the file, Frankie and the Wolf vi.jpeg. Not only does this prove that I'm not crazy, it was in fact a depiction of a wolf and not an Easter bunny. Regardless of the clearly yawning cat Photoshop, this gives us a potential name of the image. Trying to search for Frankie and the Wolf in any fashion doesn't yield results. But while digging on Google, the second oldest post that I managed to find was from September 2004, and the file name, Frankie.jpeg. After this, any other posts found seem to ditch the title. But just taking a bit of an educated guess, this could be the title file of the original source image somewhere out there on the internet. When researching, I went through various different forums. For example, somethingawful.com. On this site, they hosted regular Photoshop contests to a similar nature of the style of Frankie and the Wolf, and this goes all the way back to 2001. So it's certainly possible that the image I'm trying to find is just floating around in a forum like this. But with recent changes to the internet, it's becoming increasingly harder to find images. AI is polluting the algorithms and websites are going offline, and I am far from the first person to be traumatized by this photo and wanting to figure out where it's from. I've probably spent a total of 15 hours just trying to find the source of this image, but as of now, it has to be considered lost media. The source is just so far back to the point where it probably can't be found with normal search engines. But anyways, that's my time. If you were entertained by this video, I actually dropped a song this month. I think it's really cool. It's gonna play at the end of this video and it's in the description. Also,
Is there is I saw it.